Before a single piece of steel is moved on any Indian Railway site, the entire project is already bound by one master rulebook. This is the Indian Railways Standard General Conditions of Contract, updated in April 2022. It dictates every phase of a project, from initial procurement to final payments and dispute resolution. On complex sites, contractors often face contradicting instructions. The engineering blueprints might detail one method, while the standard specifications or the local site instructions demand another. This layered chart illustrates the strict order of precedence used to resolve those conflicts. Special conditions sit at the top of the hierarchy, overruling the general conditions. Similarly, detailed project drawings always override standard specifications. Knowing which document pulls rank is the only reliable way to settle technical disagreements before they bring construction to a halt. Long before ground is broken, the procurement phase acts as a strict filter. Bidding requires absolute precision, and minor administrative errors frequently result in automatic disqualification. A remarkably common point of failure is documentation discipline. Bidders routinely drop out of the running simply because they failed to correctly self-attest or digitally sign every single page of their submitted credentials. The penalties for submitting unverified or forged documents are severe. The railway will immediately forfeit the bidder's security deposit and initiate proceedings to ban them from future business dealings for up to 2 years. Bidders must also definitively clear stringent eligibility thresholds. This means providing audited proof of exact technical work experience and a minimum financial turnover from the past 3 years. There is also a strict compliance trap. Firms must explicitly declare if they employ or are associated with any retired gazetted railway officials. Surviving the initial bid evaluation requires flawless paperwork and total transparency regarding past railway connections. Winning the contract is only the first step. The moment a bid is accepted, the railway immediately triggers financial safeguards to protect public funds. This timeline tracks the performance guarantee window. The contractor has exactly 21 days to submit a 5% guarantee. Missing this accrues steep penal interest. If the 60-day grace period expires without submission, the railway terminates the contract. For larger-scale projects executed by joint ventures, the corporate structure is locked in. The entity must be legally registered, and the agreed-upon partnership ratios cannot be altered informally during execution. Missing these financial deadlines or changing corporate arrangements without authorization constitutes a critical breach of contract before a single shovel hits the dirt. Out on the active site, the physical execution of the work is where informal habits destroy contracts. The GCC gives the designated railway engineer absolute authority. Their instructions regarding materials, workmanship, and pacing are binding. However, there is a rigid workflow requirement for this authority. Verbal agreements are void. Every instruction, site variation, or timeline adjustment must be documented in writing to be legally recognized against sudden contract termination under Clause 62 for default. On multi-year infrastructure projects, delays are inevitable. The GCC manages these disruptions by strictly categorizing who is at fault. If the delay is caused by the railway failing to provide site clearances or by force majeure events like extreme weather, the contractor can receive an extension of time without financial penalty. Conversely, if the contractor falls behind their own submitted work program, the railway applies immediate and severe liquidated damages to the ongoing payments. The procedure here is unforgiving. Contractors must proactively file claims, officially request extensions of time within days of the event. Silence during a disruption is treated as an admission of fault, making a documented claim strategy essential to avoiding crippling financial penalties. When site disagreements do escalate, the GCC provides a structured dispute resolution pathway to keep the project moving and avoid endless court battles. This flowchart maps the escalation pathway, starting with conciliation, moving to a dispute adjudication board, and finally, formal arbitration. Surviving this system requires mastery. Bidders must understand document precedents, prove eligibility, submit security deposits on time, demand written instructions, and track delay claims meticulously. Navigating the Indian Railways GCC takes discipline. Treating the paperwork and procedures with the same exactness as the physical engineering is the blueprint for completing the project and securing final payment.